one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time to stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace in peace. When anyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is the war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time to stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace in peace, make peace. Alright, make peace, peace together. Peace.
How you guys all doing out there? Thank you for joining me on this program on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Shadow Chasing Show. I'm your host, Eric Westcott Club. Nice to see you guys again. Yes, thank you guys for being in the chat room. Those are coming in. I wasn't on last week due to problems with the service, so I could not get out. It wouldn't let me do anything, so I had to wait. Some area, what happened was we had an earthquake, and it shifted some stuff. Apparently, we were unable to get out there and to get to like for me to make contact with you guys actually doing live on show. So I had to wait until I was thinking about doing a special on Monday, last Monday, and I thought, oh, you know what? I'll wait. But yeah, I'm here. We're doing well as well. My health is a lot better. I was actually a little bit sick for about 4 or 5 days. They have this, I guess you say the chemtrail got me sick. So they were spraying across the skies like crazy. So I ended up getting sick down there, and I was down for the count for about 3 or 4 days. But I'm better now. I'm healthy. Ha ha. I took care of myself. No doctor's help. I had to do my own personal alternatives. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing this all this time. So I'm thank you guys for coming into the chat room. Those are actually coming in late. It's not your fault. So no, it's I normally start. I'm supposed to start. We always start at 7 o'clock. But what happens is I'm about to start at 7, and all of a sudden everybody's sending me a whole bunch of new information that we all need to know. So I thought, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll try to write down as much as I can that is important. And if you'll see the listing of the title on the title of my show called "Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire," and that actually relates to our Canadian government, Liberal Party, and the mistakes that the I would say the Conservatives actually been making. They're actually making major mistakes. Polyev is actually screwing up by mistake. I don't think he doesn't realize the mistakes he's made. I've been trying to keep telling everybody, why is Polyev focusing on Trump? Leave him alone. Focus on Canada. No, he had to do the big, great Canadian protection, and then he lost votes. People were not interested anymore. They were focusing on, like Carney started doing his thing. Okay, let's talk about Mark Carney real quick here. I know if you guys remember, I actually talked about Mark Carney here, who actually was not elected as a prime minister. He was selected as a prime minister. Okay, he was selected. That means he's actually what you call an exoneration prime minister. Exoneration means it's called the Great Takeover. And you guys may not realize it, but John A. Macdonald did the same thing. When John A. Macdonald was not voted as the Prime Minister of Canada, he was selected to be the Prime Minister of Canada. He actually was the very first to exonerate. To basically exonerate means to take over a country or a territory. And this is exactly what Carney had done. He chose to come in, and it was by the request of Justin Trudeau. Now, a lot of you guys may not realize Justin Trudeau actually had been, or has always been, Mark Carney has always been Justin Trudeau's financial advisor, plus also other advisor of other things, not just as financial advisor. He was also advising him regarding the carbon tax. It was Mark Carney who actually came up with the idea to create carbon tax. It wasn't Trudeau, it was Carney. Okay. So Carney actually came up with the carbon tax, and he actually said, and as of a couple of days ago, he also said that he's going to remove the carbon tax. No, he's not. He can't remove carbon tax because he was not elected. He can't remove carbon tax. Plus also, Carney's idea is to create what's called a shadow tax. So he's going to remove the carbon tax if he does get elected, which everybody knows is going to be, he'll be in anyways because he's selected to come in. But when he does take over, he's going to ruin this country big time. Basically, his goal is there's 3 things he wants to do. 1, to actually reduce carbon even more, which there's no more carbon left. He's going to reduce our transportation. Yes, folks, reduce our transportation. He wants us off the road. If you're not driving an electric vehicle, okay, then if you're not driving like a Tesla sort of thing, you will not be able to drive a vehicle, because he wants to pass a new bill, which you have to have a passport, and then you only be allowed to go from one destination to the other. Your gas-powered vehicles, he wants to shut down the oil and gas completely, as in gone, no more oil and gas. Now, you guys think that he's saving the world. No, he's not. Oil and gas has always been around for a long time. He's shutting down not oil and gas for vehicles. He's shutting down oil and gas, propane, butane, okay, anything that we are anything to do with gas, for example, our stoves, he wants that shut down. Anything to do with any kind of thing from the earth, which is not even a fossil fuel, folks. It's not a fossil fuel. J.P. Morgan created that word fossil fuel to make sure that they got the original gasoline and oil takeover, to make sure that they can actually remove free energy away from Henry Ford. Henry Ford was the original guy who actually created alcohol powered vehicles. Okay. He already begun back in the early 1900s, oil free as well. They were using a cooking oil for vehicles. He was using potatoes to make into a clean alcohol, and that was powered the power of the vehicle, which has saved more money. It was 5 cents a gallon. 5 cents a gallon for alcohol powered vehicles. JP Morgan interfered, didn't like the idea that he could not sell his gasoline, also the oil from under the ground, to power the vehicles. So he somehow convinced the government to make it illegal to use clean fuel, basically is your alcohol, because he actually had people convinced, try to get people convinced that alcohol is dangerous, that gasoline is not. They both burn. Okay? But he's having you believing that the alcohol will, you'll burn to death, but gasoline's safe. And that's exactly what he did back in the early 1900s. So they had the government completely convinced that oil and gas they need to make money. See, the thing is, as long as they take something from the earth, they need to make money. If you are making something artificial, okay, well, not artificial really, but you're making something that's from the earth, but actually it's natural, your potatoes, oils, your natural oils that you say, corn oil, you can make your own corn oil powered vehicle. Okay, all of this has been going on for a long time. Forgot to bring my camera back on, you guys. So for a long time. Now here's what's going on. Okay, the from there, okay, what they've been doing is that this is what Carney is trying to do. He wants to make sure that you don't have anything to travel with unless it's actually powered by electricity. Now the contract will not be with Tesla. Okay, he doesn't care if it's Tesla. Now here's the crazy part. Let's go into Tesla for a moment. When people are beginning to hate Elon Musk because of the Doge, okay, Doge actually is all to do with having to get rid of all of the illegal underground monies that was stolen from the people, from the citizens. And so what Elon Musk has done with Trump, and they actually went after all the bad guys, people that were stealing money, and not in the millions, in the trillions. Okay, so they went after all these people. Now the people that are complaining are the Democrats, because they are being taken down, because they are also too illegally doing things illegally, and Trump caught him red-handed. So now what the Democrats are trying to do is to try to destroy Elon Musk's electric vehicles. Now you're getting a bunch of kids that they hire, Democrats are hiring, or whoever they're hiring, to basically decimate anything to do with an electric vehicle. That's whether it's a Tesla or not. They're destroying anything electric now. They are painting the vehicles. They're spray painting the buildings. They're destroying anything and everything to get rid of electric power vehicles. Well, okay. There are some advantages having electric power vehicle. Back in the early 1900s, there was electric power vehicles. They were already done, but they didn't use lithium batteries. There's a different kind of battery. They actually have it called the coaxial battery, which basically was a used in water and hydrogen, which was safer. And they made these work also in automation. That's what they've been doing for a long time. So in the meantime, when the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers got wind that these people are actually making their own electric vehicles, they shut it down because they basically told, and they basically threatened people's lives and told them, you can't drive this vehicle. So they actually had to get a government. These are big bankers. They got the government to basically make it with that back in those 1900s that it was illegal to drive an electric car. Illegal. They were trying to push the gasoline and oil powered vehicles. Now, when time has gone by, what's Musk doing? He's actually, what Musk really is doing is he's bringing it back where history in itself was what it was. Okay, he's just bringing and he's just revisiting, bringing back the same story, the same history of the electric vehicle. Okay, what it was back then is bigger, but here's the thing: these last, I would say, year or maybe more, he decided to build these. They look like armored vehicles. Well, not my favorite. And the body work is absolute crap. Okay, I'm telling you crap, because there's a guy that bought one. He said the thing fell apart in pieces, as in he could rip the whole outer skin of that vehicle and tear it in pieces. It just falls apart. It's a piece of crap. Elon Musk's goal was to basically, he's more of an investor. He's not an inventor. He's just an investor. Okay, people do all the creation, whatever they do, he just gets it out there and advertises it. That's all this man really is. He is an investor. He actually invests in trying to make money. This is how he makes his money, is investing in products that's co-created. Same thing, anything to do. And why does he call it Tesla? Well, basically, he actually bought the rights to the name Tesla. Now, he shouldn't have done that, but he did. The thing is that in Croatia and Serbia right now, they don't like what Elon Musk has done is by taking his name in vain, electric vehicle, because they're not getting shares in it. So now they're taking him to court. A country in itself actually taking Elon Musk to court. So basically, we don't know. He may not be able to use that name anymore. And they're also trying to use the name Tesla Medbeds. And you can't do that, folks. You cannot take someone's name and call it Tesla because it doesn't belong to you. But they are doing that. They're saying, well, we're going to make Tesla Medbeds. Use your own name. Use another name. Because why are you using Tesla? And the reason why people are using Tesla, because they're believing free energy. Okay? Free energy. Because Tesla represents free energy. If Tesla represents free energy, then why does it take so much to charge an electric vehicle? And they got to use a gasoline power generator to keep it running for electric power batteries. Does that make any sense? No, not at all. It doesn't make any sense. So if you'll see so many stories and so many videos, people actually are out there and they have one guy hooked up a generator, a gas power generator in the back of his car in a small little trailer. And he's on driving. He's got an electric car and he's driving down the highway and his power battery went out and there's no gas station anywhere, because a lot of gas stations, even to this day, don't have electric power centers for the vehicles. So what does he do? He turned on the generator, gas power generator, and charged his car. Gas power generator. You're not making any difference, folks. In fact, it takes you longer to hook up your vehicle. Just think about it. Anybody who's actually, any of you folks out there are electric vehicle drivers, okay, owners. Think about this. It takes you how long to charge your car? Full charge. And yet you go to a service station, gas station, a few minutes, top, 15 minutes the max, you're out and gone, traveling the highway. Miles, okay? Not from station to station, miles, because your car, your vehicle, whatever size of the tanks, carry you to the length of you need to go. Okay, this is what it's all about. But everyone seems to think that the electric vehicle is actually the game changer that's going to be the most important thing in the world in the future. It's not. It was brought forth from a movie that Sylvester Stallone played in years ago. If you remember that one, folks, do you remember that name of the movie? Okay. They actually, where he played in the future, where he was a cop in the future or a cop in the past, and they brought him back from and to the future, and and they were driving electric vehicles. There was no gasoline vehicles, except in a museum. When he actually was brought into a museum, there was a gas-powered vehicle in the museum. Funny thing, through the movie, halfway through, when he smashed the windows to get to the gas-powered vehicle, somehow he jumped inside and turned it over and it ran. There was gasoline in the tank. Gee, I wonder where that gasoline came from. Thank you, Demolition Man. That's the movie. But the gasoline was already in the tank. Guys, think about this. 80 years goes by or more in the future, maybe more. And yet, this is the part that gets me. 80 years in the future or 100 years in the future, and that gas didn't become mush. It somehow was preserved. And they turned it over and he's driving around like, here's my gas-powered vehicle. Ha, 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 ha. Doesn't work that way. Not every vehicle turns over after 50, 60 years. It will be mush. Sometimes it doesn't turn, most time it doesn't turn over. Okay, 20, 30 years, if it's a really warm, dry place, yeah, maybe. If the tank can hold its own, it can turn over. But most of the times it won't. It's muck. You would have to clean out the lines and start over again. But anyways, getting to the story. Everyone thinks that these electric vehicles, these Tesla cars, are the answer. They're not. You want it, and they're talking about carbon change, carbon filtering, carbon, whatever you want, carbon footprints, everything you want to call carbon. Number one, think about this, folks. Most of you actually know this. We fart carbon. Cows fart carbon. Every animal in this world farts carbon. The carbon also is the trees. They're the ones that actually take care of the bad stuff that's in the sky, in the air. They sucks it all up, brings it back out and gives us fresh oxygen. You'd start destroying all the forestry, then we can't breathe, we cannot be healthy. But our vehicles now are so clean. We are 0.1% in British Columbia, 0.1% of carbon emission. We are the cleanest province in the world, in Canada. We have no carbon problems here. But yet we are being tripled taxed in carbon. Why? Who triple taxed us? Mark Carney. Because he told Justin Trudeau, triple tax British Columbia, triple tax the other provinces. Why? Because this is how they make money. This is how the Liberal Party makes money. The more you tax, your taxes go to them. It doesn't go to all these little generating places that, they're dipsticks, and then people say, oh, well, when the trucker comes in, you got to pay this tax because he travels so far to give you the gas. No, these guys have a contract. I talked to a trucker. They have a contract. They're getting paid by the trip by contract. That's not a tax. They get paid by contract and they travel to the place and they drop the gas into the big tanks and they leave. That's it. There's no difference between distance. Why are we getting taxed for greater distance? Okay. But yet we are. Why are we getting taxed for greater distance? Because they want to, because they said they can. And we sit there and we take it in. We suck it up. No matter what country you're in, our country in Canada is the only country in the world that is getting carbon taxed through the nines. Like basically, we are so bad. and is causing more people to become homeless, more people to have no food on the table because you're paying taxes. This is reminding me, folks, that's going back to the old Arthurian time period where the kings and the queens were taxing the public, the citizens, and forcing them to pay taxes, more and more taxes. And also, you were never allowed to go hunting in the forest to go find your food, okay? Because all that food in the forest that's free to hunt was not your food. It was the king's and the queen's food. So if you're caught catching a rabbit or you're caught shooting a deer, you go to jail and or you get executed for hunting the king and the queen's wildlife. They did not want, they didn't, those generations back to this day, do not want you to survive and to make it. Why do you think Justin Trudeau was passing a bill to make sure they take our firearms away from us? Okay. Why did he want to take the firearms away from us? It wasn't his idea. It was Mark Carney. It was proven. Mark Carney was the one said, take the guns away from them, do the same thing like Australia. Take the guns away from them, then they have nothing to stand on. Take their freedom away from themselves. Just take it away from themselves. So then, because he basically made a statement. He said, Canada is easy to manipulate. And Carney is a carny. I don't care. He's the biggest con of government. This man here has manipulated the UK as a head bank, one of the top head banker, and he bankrupted the UK. Okay, he screwed it. The ex-prime minister of England said in an interview that Mark Carney was going to be the next prime minister of Canada, and she said, "Don't let him in. He'll ruin your country. He'll destroy it." Mark Carney is not the elected prime minister. He cannot pass bills, and yet I watched Mark Carney sign this red folder. He pulls the folder out, lays it down. Somebody hands him the red folder, and he's doing this marker thing. And what does he do? Holds it up like this. A wannabe Trump. He's a wannabe. Trump uses the blue folders or black folders, and he uses a red folder. Why did he use a red folder? And why is Carney doing the same thing? Why is he doing like, well, see, I passed a bill. He cannot pass a bill. He was sure they say, oh, he was sworn in. He's not an MP. Mark Carney is not even allowed to be in Parliament when they stop proroguing the government. In fact, I will say this to you right now. You guys think that Justin Trudeau's gone? He's not gone. Justin Trudeau still is the Prime Minister of Canada. He didn't step down. He stepped aside. He didn't leave government. Sure, he took his chair and stuck out his tongue and did a devil mocking back to you guys. He mocked you. Stuck his big tongue out like this, meh. And basically, really down. He mocked you, and he knew he got away with murder. Literally. I'm not kidding you guys. You think he got away with it? No, he didn't. Because they're after him. The military's coming for him. They're going to pick him up. You guys are just getting a little bit of the stuff, a little bit of story. Mark Carney is not allowed to enter Parliament because he's not an elected prime minister. He's selected to represent the Liberals. Now, this man doesn't know anything. He's been lying through his teeth constantly. Every reporter has questioned him and cornered him with questions, and he'll say, "Oh, that's a good question," and then he'll lead them off. He'll never answer you. And if the reporter keeps on questioning the same question or anything related to it, he will demand that these reporters be removed from their job, to be fired. Carney does not like being questioned because he's a liar. Okay, I'm not kidding you guys. He's one of the biggest liars of this country. You think Trudeau is the worst? Trudeau chose him for one reason, to take over the work that he had started. And Trudeau is not done with you guys. And Carney was the one that helped Trudeau come into government. He had made sure that he was there to screw us. Trudeau, sure, he's a little manipulator. Sure, he was at the Robert Picton farm and messed with little girls and you know what, harmed them and paid the families off and got away with it. Sure, he got involved with SNC-Lavalin, and now they're investigating him too on the SNC-Lavalin. Finally, the RCMP are doing this. Sure, he's actually got involved with the WE organization with his mother, who was also part of a satanic organization passed down from her mother's generation. This is, folks, you guys may not realize there's a lot of stuff going on in here. And it's going to make you open up your eyes more. We are in the middle of a internal WAR with our own country, within our own country. Don't worry about Trump. Everybody's worrying about the tariffs. That 25% tariff means nothing. Sweet nothing. You guys are so focused on hating the Americans. It's not their fault. It's not Trump's fault. All that Trump had said, I will not do business with you, Canada, until you get rid of the illegal drug transitions in your country. Because Trudeau passed a bill allowing people to buy and sell drugs, no matter what it is. Okay? And he's got, in our country, right now as we speak, we have a Mexican cartel here and a Chinese cartel in BC. Okay? They are the busiest making illegal drugs. I'm not the only one that brings this up. This has already been shared. Okay? Shared. And it's always been proven that they're here. I can tell you exactly where some of the Mexican cartel people are hung out. People gone missing who are trying to stop this from happening. Some people individually on their own try to stop these illegal drugs, try and protect their own family member from getting involved with these cartels. Suddenly they go missing. This is in northern Alberta. These cartels are everywhere, folks. And then all of a sudden, they mentioned just a couple of days ago that they just finished executing 4 of our Canadian citizens in China. Why were 4 of our Canadian citizens, and why are they making sure that we know 4 Canadian citizens in China were being executed? They said, oh, it's drug related. Even though they're dual citizen, they're a dual citizen in China, of China. That means they get to go back and forth, China here, back and forth. If they're dual citizen, that means that person's from China, moved to Canada, and then it came back and forth. The only time you become dual citizen is if you have a purpose there or born there. Mark Carney. Now, like I said before, I talked about him over a month ago. I warned you guys ahead of time what was going to happen. And it's coming. I knew he was going to be coming in. I knew that he was going to try to play the game, and he's doing it right now as we speak. So Mark Carney, now this Sunday, folks, you may not know this. Mark Carney is calling for a snap election this Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. He's calling for a snap election. He wants to hurry himself to get in. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. Do you know how he became the selected prime minister? The Liberal Party actually had their own Liberal Party. They were making votes, placing votes out there for people to vote for whomever between the 3 or 4 of the electives that were there as far as Liberal Party is concerned. There was 125,000. Now, there is 325,000 votes, not 125,000. There were 325,000 votes. The 125,000 votes was for Carney. The other 200,000 votes were rejected by the Liberal government. You cannot, that's illegal. You cannot reject those 200,000 votes. You know why they rejected those 200,000 votes? Because they were not for Carney. Everybody thinks that Carney was selected. It wasn't 125,000 votes. It was 125 votes within their own little groupie. There wasn't because all across Canada, we all chose Carney. They didn't. 125 votes. They're just showing you the thousands, times it by 100, folks. All they're trying to make you think, oh, it's so big. You know, the Liberal Party, oh, they did this and did that. They also, so folks, you need to know, he was selected. No matter what, he was selected. Even though every president of the United States, besides Trump, were selected. They were not elected. They were selected. They were already brought in specifically. These head bankers, big bankers, these rich people, they're the ones, the guys above all them told them, you're going to come in, you're going to be the president now. We'll set us all up. You're going to be the president. So all your voting meant sweet crap. And how did Trump get in? Honesty. He made sure, because he was on the road all the time. Okay? He was on the road showing you. He had arenas full of people there supporting, letting everybody know he's coming in. Arenas full of him. Fields full of supporters. And yet, if you watch some of the Joe Biden's gatherings, lucky if there's only 50 people that showed up, but they also put in the green screen, the CNN put a green screen in behind Joe Biden to look as if there's hundreds of people there. Those hundreds of people in the background were not Joe Biden's. They're Trump's people. And you'll see some in the background, some of the green screens, so they'll say Trump, but yet Biden's right there going like, hey, you're picking me. Yeah, I'm going to be your president. It was a joke, an absolute joke. So, yeah, Keith, keep it up. You're funny as all heck. But anyways, like I said before, our country. Now, I need you guys to share this with others as well. Let them know that Mark Carney is not an elected prime minister. He is selected. He's not even official. Even though they said, oh, well, so-and-so, she's the head of this, and she swore him in. You cannot swear him in. That's not even being sworn in. I don't care. I can stand in front of her and she can swear me in. Doesn't make me a leader. You have to be elected by the people. Okay? And then Carney will say, Canada wants this, Canada wants that. Carney, stop. And here's my word out to you, Carney. Stop saying Canada wants, because we don't want you here. You're the biggest liar, corrupter. And I want to let you guys know this. I've got so much information and videos that people have done research on him. And I will share this with you guys this evening. I got some really good people out there that have been doing some major research on Mark Carney that prove to you that he actually is one of the biggest con artists in the world. And this guy's been doing it for a long time. He actually has been helping. He was the one that's been helping Trudeau all this time to basically screw you out of your income, screw you in taxes. Okay. It was Carney's idea. He was the leader. And he admitted that he helped give him advice. Trudeau had a lot of times, Trudeau had no idea what to do. And so Carney says, oh, it was Carney's idea to do carbon tax all the whole country. So like I said before, Carney talked about, we're going to take the carbon tax away. We're going to eliminate carbon tax. Bullcrap, because you actually said before you were involved, you said if you had it your way, you'd put in another shadow tax. And that's what you're going to do. We already know you, because you can say, well, elect me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And by the way, Mark Carney likes to steal everything that actually Pierre Poilievre has been saying already for the longest time. Pierre Poilievre has actually been going out there telling people what their goals are by the Conservative Party, saying we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and do this, and do this for the people in Canada. So everybody's all looking forward to it, and we're noticing that the votes are getting higher and higher, strongly elected with, okay, great, no problem. Pierre is going to come in. Okay. All of a sudden, Carney comes in, and what they decide to do is to I would say, how let's use those words, distract Pierre to go elsewhere. So now Pierre is on the road doing his little thing, but meantime, Pierre is slamming Trump. and slamming Trump and, oh, we need to protect our country in Canada, protect our country in Canada, protect our country in Canada. We stand behind Canada. And I said to everybody, like, why is it doing that? Poilievre, you're losing votes because you're worrying about Trump. You should be focusing on Carney because Carney's stealing everything what you said. Everything you said you were going to do and have been doing for months, even last couple of years. Carney says, well, it was my idea. I gave him the advice. Now I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to do this. So he never said Pierre Poilievre gave him this idea. He just said, no, we're going to do this. Everything that Poilievre says he's going to do. Even though the Liberal Party had already said, we don't want this, we don't know, ain't going to happen. This is controlled politics, folks. Control politics. They want to control you, the citizens. They want to control people, where you go and what you do, what you see, what you eat, and that sort of thing. Now, here's the thing. Carney's going to try, and I will make you guys a prediction. Carney's going to basically try and take the truckers off the highway. Okay? Why? Because he's going to do the whole carbon bullshit again. And that is, he's going to say, well, if you don't have a driving electric truck transport, then, and also the, let's put it this way, they're going to be using the idea of any foods coming in from the States. Okay. They don't want nobody to buy it. Okay. They don't want nobody to buy food from the States. No potatoes, no vegetables, no milk, no candy, no chocolates, nothing. You're not supposed to buy anything from the States, according to Carney. Okay. All the mistake you guys are doing is you're actually putting mom and pop businesses out of business. I don't care if you're shutting down the winery. You're shutting down every alcohol run ownership of companies that have been shipping to stores in Canada. They're not a political party. Okay. Your families, your companies that are selling to you, they're not involved in any kind of politics. But you guys, what you're doing is that you're tearing apart mom and pop businesses. You're shutting them down. If somebody's actually has chickens and from the States and they want to sell you chickens or sell you something very special that you buy from there, and now they're telling you can't buy it because we don't want nothing from the United States. We're going to be Canadian owned, Canadian made. Let me tell you something. Do you know the last time you guys had anything Canadian made? Go back to the 1990s. The 1990s was Canadian made. Anything was where people actually were dedicatingly making things, doing things, selling things, Canadian made. They lost the connection to Canadian made. You know why? Because they focused on actually contracting China to do the work for them. I'm not kidding you. I'll give you an example. You guys remember the TV series Dragon's Den, okay? And there was a young fellow who called him, he actually was supposed to be an indigenous artisan, and he made moccasins, mucklucks, and that sort of thing. And he actually had people work for him making the moccasins and mucklucks, okay, called Manitoba Moccasin. I will mention the name. They were good for a while, Manitoba Moccasin, until they got in the Dragon's Den and he asked for what they needed. He says, well, I need to bring up extra money because we're doing so well in selling or making these items. And we need about how much. They said, how much you need? Well, we need about $250,000, $250,000 to keep on this company where our people can make the moccasins and, the people that are all indigenous owned and indigenous made. Okay, great. They fell for it. The public fell for it. Or I could say the Dragon's Den guys, the couple ladies, okay, we'll give you the money. Time went by. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if it was 6 months or a year later, those people no longer were making the indigenous made moccasins. What the guy had done is he commissioned China to make the Manitoba moccasin. Now, to prove that to you guys, he actually gets the templates made here and then ships them to China, and then they just put them together. If you look at the inside lining of the Manitoba moccasin, inside lining, you'll see a tag and it says made in China. Okay. They're not made in Canada. They're made in China. And yet you guys will believe me because it says Manitoba Moccasin. No, you're paying for the name and the ownership of the name. You got to make sure when you are wanting to find out if it's Canadian made, okay, not Canadian owned, Canadian made. When I make an item in this room, like I made my new rabbit, okay, this is a commissioned rabbit for a young boy who's autistic. Okay, he's 19 years old, but he's got a mind of an 8-year-old. But I made him, okay, for this young man. This is his favorite. This is going to be his new puppet. He custom ordered the way he drew, made a drawing of what he wanted, and this is what I'm working on right now for him. Okay, this is Canadian made, not Chinese made. And yet you're going to have people out there and then trying to copy your items, anything that you make, and then China will start. They'll take photographs of your items and take it back to their country, and then try to come back and they'll say, well, I can sell it cheaper, and they'll say, oh yeah, it's from here. No, it's not. Make sure it has your name tag on it, or what you call on the tags. Make sure your name is signed on it by some means. Okay. So yeah, they used to make bear fur coats in Manitoba. That's true. They did. And buffalo. I mean, beaver. I mean, and yet again, here's another part. PETA was really bad for that. PETA actually destroyed the fur industry. They didn't have to. There was no, I mean, sure, there was some trapping, but there was never any illegal trapping. But they made it to a point where they made people believe that trapping was horrible. It was the worst thing in the world. That, oh, you're killing everything that's living that's on 4 feet, on 4 legs, and blah, 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 blah. No, that's the way of life, folks. These PETA people, all they do is eat vegetables. Okay? No matter if you got a chicken, if you're a farmer, PETA hates you. You milk cows, they hate you. You have chickens, they hate you. You got geese or sheep or lamb or you name it, goats, they hate you. You ride a horse, they hate you. You know, they want all your animals to roam free across the land and not even go anywhere near them. Like, let them all go free. Let them all go free. You don't have to own anything. That's PETA. Okay. Oh, oh, that's a good one for you. Thank you, Kathy. Called People Eating Tasty Animals. Yeah, but what we found out later through PETA that the people that were running it were psychologically unbalanced people. They were not that nice people. In fact, some of them were very violent. That they were not just spray painting red paint on people wearing fur coats or other kind of leathers. They were actually literally attacking them and beating them senseless. And one guy, a fellow, attacked another fellow leaving a fur store, and the guy had a hammer and he beat him to death and killed him in the street. This was in Vancouver because he had a brand new leather jacket from a furrier. That's how bad PETA was getting. They were so bad people. Okay. But anyways, I'm just bringing this up. We have to, if you want to, Fort McMurray. Yeah. So let's just go further here now. Mark Carney, even though the reason why Trudeau prorogued the government, prorogued Parliament, because he had no answers, nothing that he can do to win win another election. So he had to prorogue it and find some means of ways to, like, what can he do? What's next? The only way he can do is bring in Carney and have him take over. Because Carney was always his advisor, not financial advisor, not just financial, his advisor. Like, he was almost like Big Daddy. Now I'll tell you why. Okay. You guys don't know this, do you? Carney, that's his relative. Did you know that Carney is his uncle? Yeah. Mark Carney is Justin Trudeau's uncle. Okay, so Carney should not be in government. Carney should not be leading the government as the next prime minister. But he is. Now, how he became his uncle? Margaret Trudeau married. I forgot this guy's name. It's on here. Sorry. married Mark Carney's brother, who actually is a very rich man, very rich man. Okay, way above, like, with royalty. And Mark Carney, okay, he became his brother. Now, Justin Trudeau has a half brother who is Mark Carney's brother. Okay, this is all connected, folks. Margaret Trudeau, her mother above her was actually part of a satanic organization in the States. She married a admiral who actually was a satanic follower, and he had a major satanic church. This goes big. This is all monies. Okay. Now, one thing I want to let you guys know this, like, Carney is not allowed to enter Parliament because he is not official. And then this is like, everybody thinks that he can walk right in and start signing things. He can't. So how is he able to sign red folders? I mean, basically, I said before, he's a wannabe Trump to make himself look like he's a big man in the room. Now, someone accidentally called Carney, this is no word of a lie, this actually was one of the reporters, called him President Carney. It was President Carney. I mean, Prime Minister Carney. That's what he said. It was actually, I got it recorded. So CBC is cornering Carney now. Liberal Party, sneaky PM. Did you know, like I said before, Trudeau's still a prime minister because there was never an election, and I mentioned about that before. Oh, yes, I talked about the rejection of 200,000 votes. Second, let's see here. However, Poilievre has said months ago, Carney says it was his idea. Number one, Carney actually, like I said before, he's a copycat. Carney is actually going to try and steal everything from everybody. But I'm going to show you guys a lot of stuff. Now, he's also part of the... Oh, yes. Let's go further with Carney. Now, through my show, last time I did a show, about a month and a half ago, I talked about Carney. But I did say that he was also on the Epstein flight list. And everybody said, well, how do you know? Prove it. Well, there is another fellow who actually proved it. He checked it out because right now the Epstein flight list has been shared with everybody out there, all over the world. Anybody wants to see it online, you can. On the Epstein flight list actually has Mark Carney and his wife's name on it. So they have been to Epstein Island. That's why I got a photograph of Mark Carney and Jeffrey Epstein, and they were best of friends. Very, very close friends. So, give me a break. Every time I start on this, then all of a sudden YouTube gets in. Oh, no, not again. They don't like what I'm talking about. No way. Come on, give me a break. Hope you guys can hear me on the YouTube. Let me know. They did it again. As soon as I start. Okay. Well, I think I'll be okay. Let's see what happens. My computer now is going haywire, weird, starting to raise heck. Okay. So here's what's happening. And oops, I went to the file. No, it's frozen. Come on. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. Who will start first? Let's get it started.